Life's a journey, right? But what if someone skipped ahead and told you the secret passages, the hidden shortcuts, and the things no one tells you about leadership, marriage, parenting, friendships, and even navigating the world of business as a Christian? I'm your host, Rickeyta Starks, a certified behavioral consultant and life coach. We're about to peel back the picture perfect layers and get real about the unexpected twists and hard won wisdom that comes with living a life to the fullest. Get ready for honest conversations, practical tips, and a whole lot of laughter as we explore the things that no one prepared you for, but absolutely should have. It's time for us leaders to go from good to great. Let's go. Let's grow. Hey, welcome to the What No One Told Me About podcast. I'm your host, Rickeyta Starks. Thanks for tuning in today. You know, I believe that leaders are built, not born, and I help leaders understand people so that they can lead effectively. Today, we're going to be talking about knowing when to redirect your frustration. Okay, so today was a pretty rough day in business. Running some ads and running some funnels and all these things. And then the workspace that I work out of, there's some changes there going on. And today there was a lot of changes going on in my life. And things that were working in the digital space maybe a couple of weeks ago is no longer working. And so I found myself getting a little frustrated today. And when I came home, I realized that I came home living in that frustration. Like I had to help my son get a project done. We had to make sure that, dinner was made. Thankfully, my husband, he had already warmed up the dinner because we had already pre-made the food for the week. So he helped warm it up and all this stuff. So that was good. Thank God for that. But the other things, just helping my son get his project done and the frustration with the changes online, the changes in my workspace and things like that, I came home in frustration. And I didn't have that buffer time between leaving the workspace, picking the kids up from school, getting home. There was no buffer time in between the transitions of my day. And I was not intentional about, okay, let me change my mindset, renew my mindset so that everyone around me doesn't feel the frustration that I'm dealing with. So since I didn't renew my mind between getting the kids and getting home now with my husband and stuff like that, I believe they felt that frustration. And I wasn't my normal happy self. And I haven't been my normal happy self. When I'm under a lot of stress, it's hard for me to be my normal happy self. And another thing on top of that, this morning, I didn't start my day with my devotional. So that really was a downhill slope for today. I was not prepared spiritually for today. So with that lack of spiritual preparation, the lack of renewing my mind between the transitions, and the that made me misfire on frustration. So I had a lot of misfires of my frustration. I was just firing off of frustration when other people around me or other situations was not the problem. My problem was with the changes. When I'm thinking that things should be one way and I'm used to things operating one way, and now there's a shift. And now I have to adjust to a whole nother way of life or doing things. So my frustration wasn't with them. It was with me and me not being able to adjust. And how many times in our lives are we misfiring our frustration at the wrong target when we really need to sit back and analyze what the real issue is that we're having with the situation that's going on with us right now? If you find yourself constantly in frustration, you're high stress, you are you're in high stress, you are just short-tempered, quick to anger, and you're having this hostility towards people who are not even your problem. How many times are we doing that in life? And we wonder why we have broken relationships, ineffective communication, and it's because we haven't sat down and really evaluated what our real problem was. And we're trying to, one thing is that we're not filled up spiritually. We are running on empty, and we are running on yesterday's reservoir. Like, if you're not renewing or filling up daily, you only have enough for the day. You only have enough energy. You only have enough spiritual strength for the day. Even in the word, how you say, worry about today. Tomorrow has its own problems. Like, you have enough for the day. Give us our daily bread. Daily bread. So we're trying to run on yesterday's fumes. We're running on fumes today. Trying to run on yesterday's fuel, running on empty. We get up today. We don't refill our cup. We don't refill our spiritual tank. And then we wonder why we're snappy. We wonder why things aren't just clicking together. Because it's going to be hard for you to see things coming together when you're not all the way there mentally. It's one thing to be there spiritually, but then your spiritual is connected to your mental and your emotional. So when you're not already seeing straight, you haven't renewed your mind, you're not already seeing straight, you're not seeing through God's eyes, and you're not allowing how can I explain this? It's hard to do, and it's hard to see straight. It's hard to connect the dots when you are running through the fog. Sometimes we need to clear out the fog. So yeah. That's one thing. Well, that's the whole thing of today. Misfiring on frustration, renewing through transitions, the importance of renewing through transitions, and really filling up for the day. Those are the three things that are so important as a leader. And if you're not mindful of those three things, you'll run into a lot of chaos and conflict in your life. And as I mentioned about, misfiring on the frustration, and we're having these broken relationships due to missing or broken communication. So as I'm frustrated, as my husband, he's seeing that I'm frustrated at some points, and he's trying to give advice and stuff like that, but it's not the advice that I'm looking for. It's like, I'm like, I've tried that. I've done that. Like, that's not helping me right now. So he's trying to give his point of view, his perspective, his input, advice. And I'm just like, that's not it. So he's feeling the frustration. So he's just like, I'm going to leave it alone, But you'll figure it out. I'm sure. Give it a break. You'll figure it out. But me not effectively communicating to him, like, hey, at this point, I'm really just frustrated with everything that's going on. Things aren't working the way they were. There's a lot of changes that happen in my day, and today just wasn't today wasn't one of my best days. And I didn't communicate that to him. Now he could take it as, oh, she's tripping today. Let me give her space. I ain't gonna say nothing else. But because I didn't communicate really where I was and my needs, maybe today I just needed him to listen to what was going on and what I had been dealing with in this day, versus him being the Superman he is, trying to come in and save the day. But I didn't communicate that to him. But hey, if y'all want a really great tool to help you to effectively communicate, go to my website, RickeytaStarks.com, and get the effective communication and resolving conflict guide. It's a great guide. It gives 10 steps, understanding the personalities and resolving conflict based on the personality style that you're talking to, your style, their style, and how to come together and communicate effectively through hard conversations. Great tool on my website. Just go to RickeytaStarks.com. The link will be somewhere on this podcast episode. And I would really, really, really encourage you guys to take control of that guide. Because like I said, a lot of broken relationships are caused by broken or missing communication. If we learn how to communicate effectively and reconnect as humans, we'll see a totally different world. So take advantage of that tool, y'all. Take advantage of it. It's really good. It's helped in my marriage. It's helped in my friendships in all those areas. So yeah, I encourage you to get that. The link will be somewhere. But anyway, yes, leaders, make sure that you are not misfiring your frustration. Identify what your true problem is. Renew your mind through the transitions. Like if you're coming from work, you had some frustration from work, you went, a deal didn't go through or whatever happened, make sure that you renew your mind before you get with your children or your spouse or back to your team or to people who had nothing to do with the situation that you were dealing with. Renew your mind, refresh, and then re-engage. Renew, refresh, re-engage. Okay? Transition between those times so that they don't get your frustrations, your frustrated self. They don't get your stress. You don't rub off. You don't bring that energy to them. They get the full version of you, which I hope is the happy, the joyful, the loving, the kind, the peaceful, all of the fruit of the Spirit version of you. And the only way you can show up with the fruit of the Spirit, in the fruit of the Spirit, is by connecting with God. It's the only way we can love. The only way we can have joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control is through the Holy Spirit. So connect with God and then re-engage with people so that they can get that version of you and not your frustrated, stressed out, upset, angry self. Okay? Make sure we're doing that in between those transitions and fill up daily. Fill up daily spiritually. Do not run on E from yesterday. Don't run on E from Sunday and think that Sunday's message, Sunday's word from God, the specific and rhema word that he had for you, don't take that as this is going to get me all the way to next Sunday. No. You're going to run out. But by the time you leave the church, by the time you finish listening to that sermon, look, the tank is already running out. The gas is already running out. You got to renew and refill every day. And I know how tiring that could be. Believe me, I know how tiring that could be. I do not like going to the gas station. I don't like going to the gas station. It's tiring. It's just inconvenient. It's like you always have to go at the most inconvenient time. But when it comes to filling up with God, let me tie this back in because it sounds like I get frustrated when I have to go to God. But no, I want to go fill up. I want to go fill up because I don't want the fruit of the flesh to show up in my life. I don't want to have outbursts of anger. I don't want to be, I don't want to cause division. I don't want to be quarreling with my spouse or my children. I don't want to have just these, all of the negative sides of the flesh showing up in my life. I want, when people see me or come in contact with me, I want them to experience God or be a representation of his love and his fruit. I get the word say they know they know you by your fruit. Like, I want people to know me as a child of God. I want people to see me as a daughter of a king. So remember that, fill up spiritually, renew, refresh, re-engage, and do not misfire your frustrations. Take those frustrations to God. Allow him to renew you. I know how heavy it is. I know how leadership can be frustrating. I know how it can be tiring. And I know how much weight comes with responsibility, with the responsibility of leading people. But take those to God and allow him to fill you back up so that the world can get the best version of you. Okay, leaders? Now let's go and be great. You were born to be great, but you were built as the leader you were called to be. Okay? Every day you should be putting a new brick on the foundation. All right? Y'all have a good day. Go and be great, champs. Bye-bye.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. My goal is to help leaders get a deeper understanding of people so they can lead effectively. And I start with them getting a deeper understanding of themselves. Go to www.rickeytastarks.com to take your personality assessment today.